Welcome to another installment of If It's in the Mind, It Can Be Managed, with one of the amazing coaches that we had at Priority Mind Management. I say have is the more appropriate word. We have the fabulous. Do you know what? I'm not going to introduce you. You can introduce yourself. Hi.
Hi, am I going to get this the right way round? Oh, it doesn't matter, does it? Jane Sandford. Jane Sandford, mind management coach, clinical hypnotherapist. I've done that well, haven't I?
You have.
Clinical mind management coach, clinical hypnotherapist, holistic therapist. I am multi-talented.
Now, when you
and I'm not afraid to say it.
No, and you shouldn't. That's the thing. We shouldn't be afraid to show up in the world with the skills that we've actually really worked on to help make a difference in others' lives. And we shouldn't be shrinking violets in any way, Jane.
No.
So
I
absolutely
totally agree.
Yeah, you scream it to the world.
As they say, if you've got it, flaunt it.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on the podcast. As I say to all the people that we get onto, If It's in the Mind, It Can Be Managed. This is a podcast about you, about your skills, Jane. You are multi-talented, multifaceted. One of the coaches that gets some amazing results with a lot of the clients that we've had from the businesses that we're working with, and your own personal clients as well. And you've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about vibration. We're going to be talking about being resilient. You are possibly one of the most resilient. You've got a phenomenal story from many years ago to where you are now. I'm gonna name the podcast right now what we named, and I'm gonna put it out there: from redundant to abundant. Boom!
Boom indeed. Boom indeed. Yes. Where to start? I'm going to start. This is just my year so far.
Right.
So my year so far was putting it out to the universe. Beginning of February, I did my Vibe and Vision course, which is all about the law of vibration, which ends up with a vibration board, not a vision board. It's vision board on steroids. Now, on my vision board, it was butterflies. There was nothing on there that I want. There was no house, no car, no material stuff on there. It was just who I wanted to be. There were butterflies on there to represent freedom. I wanted to be free from the corporate muggle world. And so that's what the butterflies represented. And there were words like peace and love and crystal whisperer and holistic workspace on the bottom. And there was all this stuff on there. Anyway, fast forward just about 3 weeks later, and I was told that my job was being made redundant from the corporate muggle job. So straight away, we put the house on the market, and I put my vision board away whilst they took all the photos. And then a couple of months later, I pulled the vision board out, and I realized I've done all of it already. I've got my holistic workspace. I've got a room in the local wellness center. I've got clients. I'm doing crystal Reiki, crystal healing. Everything on that vision board has come to be, and I need to do a new one. So
now you said it 3 times: vision board or vibration board?
Vibration board. I'm going to say vibration. People understand vision board, but to me, it's a vibration board because I'm making sure that I vibrate at the frequency of everything that's on that vision board. So Crystal Whisperer, I vibrate at that frequency. Holistic workspace, I vibrate at the frequency of a holistic workspace worker. I'm just going to give it a quick look. So it's got Rise of a Light Worker on there, and that's the most prominent words are Rise of a Light Worker, and that has happened big time.
Now, you mentioned something. Now, I know the term and I know the reference. However, for everybody listening to this, you're going to have to explain the reference. You said you left the corporate muggle world.
I did.
The muggle job. Now, if someone's listening, they'll be like, what does she mean, muggle job? So, Jane, explain the muggle job so that people will
The
know and understand, because they'll probably start saying, oh, I'm stuck in a muggle job. But anyway, Jane, explain it.
the muggle job is the corporate world.
Right.
It was the corporate job.
Right.
That was it. And it's full of muggles.
Why muggles? Why do you say the word muggle? I know where muggle comes from.
Muggles is from Harry Potter. So it's the non-magics.
The non-magical world.
Yes. The non-magical world. I'm now in the magical world, living my dream.
And look at the smile on your face for it as well.
I know. It's so
So
exciting.
you've been on the journey for, I mean, for a lot, look, there's always a story. There's always a story, Gene. And I know I've done a podcast previously. If anyone's seen that, it will be touching on a few things. But we look at you now and we think, look at Jane. She's smiling. She's living her best life. She's gone from redundant to abundant. She's made those choices. What a lucky lady she is. Now, that's because you started making a choice and you made a change, and that's how you've moved forward. That wasn't always the case, was it, Jane? There's a big history before that as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Huge history.
Yeah.
Some very difficult difficult times.
Yeah.
I'm yeah, very, very difficult times. I had some difficult marriages.
Yep.
That took their toll.
Yeah.
On me, absolutely. And I think I said in the previous podcast that when I left the second one, I felt like an empty shell.
Mm-hmm.
But once I reframed that to I was a blank canvas, that was when I could start repainting my life. And I love putting it that way rather than I was an empty shell, because that's just so negative. But, moving forward. And I saw like The Secret and What the Bleep Do We Know. Highly recommend that one.
Oh, I still yeah.
Yeah. So I saw those, and it was What the Bleep Do We Know that really turned things around for me. It was just that aha moment when it's, hang on a minute, I've got choices.
Yes.
Everything is my choice. I can choose to be happy if I want to be. And so that's what I did. Now, I know it sounds very simplistic, but there was a lot of work that went on behind the scenes, but always remembering everything was my choice.
And that we've talked about that because we've been friends for a long time. It must be 2 years now. Is it 2 years now? It's got to be 2 years.
That's not a long time, but yeah.
No, I know. But
it's over 2 years now since we set up our little club.
How we gravitated towards each other after in the middle of it. Was it just after COVID? Just during COVID? It was around that time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think just after. I think.
Yeah. So we started working together a long time ago, and that's we've got a great history. In all fairness, it's funny because we do spend a lot of time together virtually. We've never actually met in person.
No, I like to say we started off like this, and then you just went woo, and now
I know, but that was the one thing that I know. But Gene, and that's something I always make a promise to my friends. It doesn't matter how high I go, I bring everybody up with me, because that was. Sometimes people don't want to move. We get that. We know that, Gene. But we gave you the offer. Do you want it? Yep, absolutely right. I'll drag your arm. Come on, hold my hand. Let's go and do this together. So no, I'm always a big believer in. You remember where you come from, and you bring people up with them if they want to go with you. But you've done so much in the past, because you did, especially for the coaches, any coaches that's watching this, you did your muggle job. We used to always laugh because you called it the muggle job, the non-magic world, but you still did so much on your self-awareness, your self-care, your personal development by learning all the things that you've learned to make yourself this multifaceted tool to get results, whether it's from crystal whispering all the way up to mind management. There's so many tools, a hypnotherapy as well, clinical hypnotherapist. So when we're talking the law of vibration, how do you start making a change in vibration for anyone that's listening?
There's a little chart that you can get, and it's got things like joy and pride, and it's on a kind of a scale.
The scale of consciousness. Yes, the emotional consciousness. Yes.
Yeah. So I would say see where you're vibrating at now. Look at that scale. See where you're vibrating at now, and then check the one step above, and aim for that. Baby steps.
Yeah.
When you're there, go for the next one. When you're there, go for the next one. When you're there, go for the next one.
Yeah. So there's a powerful book that I've read, and I passed it on to one of my friends. I'm pointing that way at the dipping group. That's of no relevance to you whatsoever. I'm pointing down at the dipping group. And I said, look, read this book, because it'll show you about the different states of consciousness that we have that are related to the emotions that we feel. And this is how we raise our vibration. So if you're stuck in guilt, shame, pride pops up. Pride's like the tipping point for a lot of people. We're not talking anger, because anger is actually not on the scale, but it's these different emotions that keep us lower down on the vibrational scale. I found it a phenomenal book, and I think I shared it. I know when I got it, I was like, you've got to read this one, Jane. This is a brilliant book. But there'll be stuff out there that you can find, the different consciousness scale of where you are, that keeps us stuck. And it's Dr. R. Hawkins. I was just trying to think of the name. It's Dr. R. Hawkins, The Power. He's done loads of different books. But if you're the kind of person, for everyone, I'm sure you were like this a long time, is I feel just so shameful. I feel so guilty about things that are happening. There is a way that we can look at our past and start reframing it. Like you said, I was an empty shell. That's negative. That keeps us down. That keeps us in shame. But we look at the past and then we go, I can now repaint myself. You're going to shoot right up the scale of consciousness.
Yeah.
And you've been doing that for quite a while, haven't you?
I have been doing that for quite a while.
So,
and more so in the past sort of 10 years.
Yeah.
I've been well on it. And now I teach it, of course, with my Vibe and Vision course. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So you help other ladies, gentlemen as well, if they want to raise their vibration.
Yeah.
You help people go from where they are and moving forward, which I think is a phenomenal thing to do. And it does fill you with joy.
It does. Those aha moments, and watching people doing it. I'm coaching somebody at the moment, and just watching them hit goal after goal after goal after goal is just amazing. I am honoured to be a part of their world, really. That brings tears to my eyes.
It really, really does, by the way. It really, really does. And that's something we're always passing on. So let's talk mind management. You're a priority mind management certified master coach. You did a lot of training on that. You've done some other trainings with us as well at Priority Mind Management. Tell us about that training that you have and how you use that to help people move forward.
Oh, I just follow the rules.
There's no rules.
There are no rules. There are no rules. It's just getting people to understand that it's not telling them where they need to go. I know, sort of, if you're a sports coach or something like that, you're saying, right, do this, do this, do this. It's not like that. It's just getting people to look inside. And you just do that by asking the right questions. And I work a lot on intuition as well.
Yeah.
So, and just giving them the space to work it out for themselves. That seems so simplistic, doesn't it?
For anyone that knows me, they'll know that I keep it simple. I think I've just done a podcast about retransitioning from trauma, rethinking trauma. And we were talking about it, is my simplistic view helps people move forward. When I've been coaching clients and they were like, I wish it had been explained to me this simply years ago. I'm like, yep. So keeping it simple is a powerful tool to have when there is so many confusing things out there. So absolutely. So with your wellness center, you're also a clinical hypnotherapist, and you're really into your hypnotherapy. We have these conversations about hypnotherapy all the time. And I love that. I've always loved that the conversations that we've had, Jane. So talk to people how you help people with your hypnotherapy as well.
Hypnotherapy. A lot of people have actually come to me for mind management.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
then realize that they want hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
But I think it's mind management is an all-encompassing umbrella.
Yeah.
And you can put EFT into it, hypnotherapy into it, and lots and lots. I'm doing something at the moment called access bars.
I like that video, by the way. I did watch that video.
Did you?
I did.
It's
I thought it
pretty
was fascinating.
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody doesn't know about access bars, look it up. It is absolutely phenomenal. But that's an all-encompassing mind management umbrella.
Yeah.
So the hypnotherapy, a lot of people do come from mind management and then they end up having hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
I'm also I'm a licensed hypnoslimmer consultant.
Correct.
So I've got clients coming to me for weight management,
Yep.
weight control, which is great. So yeah, that's the hypnotherapy side. I love it.
That's fantastic.
But I do use a lot of NLP techniques in there as well. So it's
I love NLP.
yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. I do love. I do love. A big fan of NLP for a long time. Now, for anybody, now because you know the power of identity, and I just talked about identity with somebody else. When anybody loses their job, there is, if we're not fully aware of identity and how prevalent it is in our life, how identity is how we see ourselves in the present. And we can get stuck in labeling ourselves. We're going back to the labels, not a fan of labels, but we know they're there. If you are not fully aware of how to really powerfully use your identity to get you moving forward, a lot of people, not like yourself, Jane, going from redundant to abundant so quickly, and you've got a smile on your face because you're like, yeah, I absolutely did. I absolutely
I've smashed it.
did. Now, even that would be a phenomenal coaching avenue for anyone who's thinking, well, I think actually I'm going out to that I'm losing my job. I need to speak to Jane. How does identity play in that?
Identity. Well, it's interesting because the muggle job, I was a muggle. I was that muggle, but the more I was doing the coaching and the more I was doing the holistic therapies, the
Yeah.
more I was getting my authentic identity
Yeah.
back. And I think they recognized that
Yeah.
in the muggle job, because the muggle man, that was my manager. He actually said to me, Jane, are you in the right job? Is this job doing it for you anymore? And it wasn't, obviously. And
Yeah.
then I got the redundancy. But since I've moved fully into doing this, I just feel like me again.
Wow.
I feel like me again. And that's what I do. I've got a program, my signature program. It's called Power Up.
Yeah.
And the first thing I do is help people to find their identity, find what their passion is,
Yeah.
find what their purpose is.
Yeah.
And then the mind management then takes over.
Perfect.
Helping them to get to where they need to be themselves.
Yes. And give us some of the successes that you've been working with some of your past endeavors. Give us some successes of who you've been able to help and take them from where.
I'm sorry, they're confidential clients. I'm sorry.
No, we're not. No, we're not talking. It's not Bob at the end of the road. Bob came in, right? Bob told me about all these. No, not at all, Gene. But there has been some successes where you've took people from one position to the next position, and that is something that people would love to be able to hear about.
Well, there was one lady who was struggling, another coach actually, and she was struggling to get her course done.
Yeah.
And we worked for about a year.
Yep.
On and off, and a couple of months ago, she got her course out there. She did it, and that was, I felt like it was my child. She was my child, and it was like, yes, you've done it. I was just so proud of her, so pleased for her.
Yeah.
Because I knew when I got my first course out, I can remember that feeling.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. So that is one. Another lady was burnt out.
Yeah.
She has, I wish I'd got it written down actually, what she said to me when she was done. She said she's more assertive. However, she has lost some friends because she has been more herself.
Yeah.
She's not been that people pleaser. A lot of people are people pleasers, and even I'm occasionally a people pleaser.
Yeah.
But you can lose friends over it.
people, I think,
if you change your identity, or if you come back to your authentic identity and somebody's been used to you in a different
they're not going
identity,
to like the change.
they don't like the change. People don't like change. Fear of loss, isn't it? Fear of loss, fear
Yeah,
of success. People have a fear of success, and that's why they don't change their identity in
correct.
case they lose those friends.
Yeah. And the one thing, yeah, you're absolutely right. Now, whenever we've talked, because we always touch on victim mindset a little bit. When we're talking about the lower vibrational states, we start talking about a victim mindset. Now, when we're talking victim mindset, that doesn't automatically mean somebody is a victim. It's the mindset of, it's a lower vibrational state. You know, depression and overthinking is down there. That's where I was. I'm always very honest. That's where I was. I had the victim mindset. When we've always talked, your stories of your past have never been of a victim. They've always been of an empowered lady moving forward. How do you help people out there with their stories of, when you start hearing there's a victim story there, they might not be a victim, but you can hear the story as a lower vibrational. How do you help people? What would you use to help somebody if they came to you with that story, they create that language of fear? How would you get them to start looking at their story as a champion story like you've done? Because you've genuinely, and I know there's a lot more deeper levels about Jane.
Oh, I was very much a victim.
Yes.
I was very much a victim. I had that victim mindset. Not
Yeah.
I wasn't a victim. I had that victim mindset.
Yes.
So how do I get people to realize that they're not, or to come out of that victim mindset?
It's how do you help people listen to their conversations so they can realize, because that accountability, that's what was the big change for me years ago, was I had told me hand up, right, I know what I've been doing. I've been acting the victim. Oh my God, now I understand why my wife was struggling with me, why friends were struggling with me. I was like, I held my hand up. It was that accountability. We talk about accountability. It's one of the powerful things that me and you have had for such a long time, has been accountability. How do you help people to go from lower vibrational states, creating a victim story, to having an empowering story? How do you help people with that?
Oh, where to start with that?
Because you're good at it.
No, but a lot of it's intuition.
But we can say intuition, but you've got experience, and experience will always help intuition. You can't have intuition without experience. So the experience that you've had, the experience that you've had for yourself and how you've moved your life forward, is what's creating that intuition for you.
Yeah. So how do I do it for others?
How do you help them move forward?
I generally just say to them, is it true? That's such a powerful question, isn't it? It's like,
it is, yes.
When they're saying that, they're being bullied or something like that,
Yeah.
you just say, well, is that really true?
Yeah. Or is that how you're feeling?
Yeah.
See where we went? See, right? Because there's a difference, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's a powerful story to have right there, is the difference between emotionally feeling things and a truth. And I remember, when I was in victim
it's also
mindset,
getting them to take a step back and look at things objectively and not get stuck in their story.
yes. And that's a powerful part of mind management, is helping people change that story, that narrative. The narrative that we have up here is not always as true as what we like to believe. And we always mention that people suffer more up here than they do in real life.
Yes.
And that's been the power of mind management and the multifaceted tools that you do. Before we go any further, I have to ask a question. What's your favorite crystal and why?
Oh, that's a good question. It changes daily. At the moment, it's shungite.
Oh, tell me
Shungite. I've
about
actually got a piece.
shungite.
Shungite. It was found in a river, and people noticed that. Oh, you can't see it, can you?
Oh,
People noticed that the water that was coming over the shungite bed was coming out pure. So you can pop it in water to purify your water. But it's
Where's
a very
shungite
good.
from?
Hmm?
Where's it from?
This was just in front of me.
No, there's got to. You're the crystal whisperer. So,
Where they're
whereabouts
from.
in the world is shungite found more naturally?
Well, shungite is found, she says, flicking very, very rapidly through her book. Talk about putting me on the spot. It's probably not even in this book. It's not even in this book.
Oh, I just thought it must be like, because I mean, I like indicolite, so, but I don't know where it's from either. So
Indicolite is actually blue obsidian.
blue obsidian, right?
Don't
Perfect.
you know? And it looks like did you get yourself any? I know you were going to get yourself some.
I was trying to get into crystal shop. I asked the lady in the crystal shop locally, I went, have you got any indicolite? She was like, what? That's like, it's a crystal. I've got a friend who's a crystal healer. I know, I know it's a crystal.
So it's from Russia. It's from Russia.
Right. So shungite is from Russia.
Shungite is from Russia.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Now we know.
That's
Now I know.
yeah.
I won't forget that now.
No.
But yes, indicolite is blue obsidian. It looks a bit like a Fox's glacier mint.
Oh, very nice.
Mm.
Good stuff. So, how often do you, seeing as shungite is now your new favorite crystal, what do you use it for?
I use it as protection around my crystal grids
Right.
a lot.
Right.
So I use it as a protective layer.
Perfect.
Around a perimeter layer.
Nice.
But also I've got it in front of my PC to negate any EMF frequencies.
Right. Perfect.
So yes,
Good stuff.
It's an all-round good guy.
Fantastic. And Jane, is there anything else you would like to impart to our fabulous listeners today?
No, just that I don't just work in the wellness centre. I do also do my hypnotherapy, and I can do distance Reiki.
Yep.
So I do work a lot online as well. So my wellness centre is only at the moment on a Saturday, but that is looking to expand in the very, very near future.
Absolutely fantastic. Yes, you're found online. You live down in
Cornwall.
area?
I'm in Cornwall, so if anybody's in Cornwall and they want to have a chat or a coffee or a pasty or a cream tea, just look me up, and I'll quite happily show you around the sites, as long as it's not on a Saturday. In which case you can come and have a little bit of I'm doing this, a little bit of access bars.
Is that what you call access bars, is it?
Access bars.
That's
Yeah.
not what. No, I did watch. I like the fact that the access bars was a neuroscientist as well. And it was all science, but it was all science backed. I thought that was absolutely fantastic.
It's my new favorite toy.
I love flow. I love getting into flow. I do that quite a lot. We talked about that, and you said no flow. You've got to put the music on and things like that. I'm like, yeah, no. But I do like getting into flow states, and I think they're absolutely fascinating. And I know I'll talk about that later and things like that with all the stuff that we do. Look, Jane, thank you so much for coming on.
Not a problem.
If there's ever a lady that can go from redundant to abundant, it is you, Jane. And we love having you at Priority Mind Management.
Thank you very much. I love being there.
You are an apps. Before we impact theory, how are you liking the impact theory coaching?
Loving it. Yesterday's session was amazing, and the word that everybody used for it was beautiful. When we did our one-to-one coaching, everybody came out of their breakout rooms saying that was beautiful, and it was. I actually cried. How often do I cry? I did. I cried with joy when I was in there. Yeah. Unless anybody knows what I'm talking about, then I was in there. Yeah.
So we'll touch on it because I know, look, there's a new coaching program coming out, which is impact theory coaching that Graham Nichols and I have devised. And it's the missing piece in the puzzle for so many coaching programs. There's a lot of people that go on and learn how to be coaches with different accreditations, different coachings. but we knew there was a gap because me and Graham had been talking about it, and we've created this phenomenal 5-week, 10-session program for any coach to come in and to make a bigger impact with their clients. This can be for HR managers. It can be for people who are already coaches, not just, I mean, CEOs, managers, leaders in businesses. If you've already got that coaching skill behind you, but you think, there's just that missing piece, we've created it. It is a phenomenal coaching plan, the impact theory coaching, which is going to be going even bigger and more live very shortly. So we're extremely excited, and we were so glad that you wanted to come on it, Jane. And I knew,
and that immersive experience yesterday was phenomenal. I've said phenomenal quite a bit today. It was phenomenal.
It's what it is. It's absolutely what it is. So perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jane. It's a pleasure having you with us, and I look forward to many more times. Accountability breakfast popping up. There it is. Yes, we will put your email address in as well at Jane Sandford at Priority Mind Management. If you want to get in contact, absolutely, we love it. Jane, thank you very much. You're an absolute, you're a blessing in disguise. You genuinely are. Thank you, Jane.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me again.
Not a problem at all. Don't forget, guys, if it's in the mind, it can be managed. And more coaches coming on talking about their experiences with mind management, the skills that they have, and the expertise they have in their area of coaching. It's a phenomenal tool, and we look forward to seeing you on future podcasts. As always, big love from Cuddy, and have yourself a fantastic day.
Glad you like it.